Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rhonda. I'm also known as the Sparkly One. I've been on a roll lately and I've made quite a few knitted projects. I'm so excited to bring this to you. And this is just a little baby blanket and it is so precious and so beautiful. I love this. And it's done with a garter stitch and it has like this eyelet border. This is also the same pattern that a lot of people use for a pot holder. And I do have another video where I'll show you right here where I did the same exact blanket, but I added a ruffled border with a crochet hook. So if you know how to knit and crochet, that would be a great project for you. Or if you want to learn how to crochet, that would be a good project to learn with. And I did not put the ruffle border on this baby blanket because I just wanted to keep it simple. So if you're learning how to knit, this is a good project for you to start knitting with. I wish I had a little baby to put in this. I don't have one, so I can't show you the size, but it would be perfect as a stroller blanket as well as a baby blanket for a newborn. And you can give this as a gift. It's the perfect size to just roll up and put a sweet little bow on it and like a satin ribbon and put it inside of a gift bag. It would be perfect. And then you could add all of the other little accessories like the pacifier and all the bottles or whatever gifts people are giving today. So if you're interested in learning how to make this soft, wonderful blanket, let's get started on it.
For this sweet little baby blanket, I am using the Big Twist Value Yarn from Joann Fabrics, and it is amazing. I love this. It's in the color Damson Purple. This is so wonderful to work with. I love this yarn. So let me put this over here. As you can see, look at, I got it on clearance last year around Christmas for $1.47. Can you believe it? It's so awesome. Okay, so these are a size 6 and they are made by Bernat and they're probably about 14 inches long or somewhere around there. I will let you know in the description box when I get a measuring tape. But what you're going to do is you're going to, let me get this one out of the way, it's clanking. So all you're going to do is make a slip stitch and then you're going to cast on 5 stitches. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Try not to do them too tight. So it just makes it a little harder when you're, especially if you're a beginner. And I've only been knitting for about 5 months, maybe 5 or 6 months. And I just love knitting. It's so fun. And you're just going to knit all 5 of these stitches. And just keep it a little bit loose. So there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you're a beginner, I do have a beginner blanket that you can look at and see with some giant knitting needles, which is actually really fun. And I go a little bit slower in that video, so hopefully you can check that out. I think I called it my knitted leg blanket because when I sit on the couch, I like to have a blanket on my lap and not just wrapped in it. And it's just so so cozy and fun. And of course that's purple too because I love purple. But pink is my favorite. Okay, and so for this next row, what you're going to do is you're going to knit 1. Oops, there we go. Knit 1, knit 2, yarn over, and then knit to the end. Okay. Just like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches on your, okay, so from now on until you get to the halfway point of your blanket, you're going to do the same exact stitch. So that is knit 2, yarn over, and knit to the end. And this is super easy. I love this. It's so repetitive and simple, and you can take it with you and you can watch TV, and it's just something that you don't have to think much about. So go ahead and keep doing this. So you're just gonna, again, knit 2. It's like magic. It just makes it so beautiful. I love how it has this wonderful border around the blanket, and with the holes in it and stuff. It's just so delicate and so beautiful and easy. And then, as you can see, it's starting to take shape. I am going to do this for a few rows, and I will come back and I'll show you what that looks like. This is a helpful hint. I forgot to yarn over here. As I see, there's no yarn over. So all you're gonna do to take out your stitches is just take your long yarn and kind of pull a little bit tightly, and you can see where it opens up, and then you're just gonna go back in there and unwind it. And you're gonna do that again until you get down to these 2 stitches. So I'm just taking that off, and then I can fix my mistake. Then I'm going to yarn over and I will just knit until I get to the end. So if you make that mistake, that's how you take it out. And also another tip for you is, if you see this, it looks really wide and open, but that's the yarn over. And so don't think that you did not drop a stitch. So you can go ahead and knit that. Just keep a nice tension, and then, you know, just knit to the end. So you're gonna see that at the end of every row. Because at first I thought that same thing, that I dropped a stitch. You can also use circular needles. So this would probably be much easier than using the straight needles, because the straight needles do get a little bit heavy once you have all of the blanket on there. And this will even out, you know, it will evenly distribute the weight. But you can use circular needles or straight needles. It took about 1.5 skeins of this yarn, which this has 170 grams or 371 yards. So hopefully that helps. So make sure that you have enough yarn. It's nice to buy a big Super Saver yarn. That way you can have plenty of yarn and you're not going to have to add new yarn and weave in that end. So if you just buy the big bulky, the big skein of like the Red Heart Super Saver or one of those bigger skeins of yarn, that way you'll be assured that you don't have to change yarn. You're going to have plenty of yarn. Okay, here is my little baby blanket that I am making, and let's go ahead and start the decrease. Now for decreasing, you're going to have to end on an even amount of stitches. At this point, I have 148 stitches. That's an even number, and I am going to start my decrease. And I just wanted to show you, this is all the yarn that I do have left from one skein, and the skein, if you recall, looks like this. This is the big twist yarn, and this is my second skein. So I will be adding this shortly. You can add it now if you'd like, but I feel like I want to make sure that I use the whole entire skein before I move on to the next skein. So I will have enough to do the blanket. So I'm going to have exactly enough with maybe a little left over, probably about this much, just at the end of this project. So I just want to show you how to decrease. And then once I have to change my yarn, I'll show you how to do that. And you're always going to add the yarn on the end when you're starting a row, okay? Don't start it in the middle. I made that mistake with my other blanket that I made, but do not add the yarn in the middle of the blanket. I had no idea what I was doing at that time, and it made it a little difficult to weave in the ends. So I am going to start from the end when I add the new yarn. So I'll show you that as soon as I get probably a couple more rows here. But anyway, so the decrease is you're going to knit 1, knit 2 together. And if you did this tightly, it's going to be a little difficult for you, but you can do it. Knit 2 together, then you're going to yarn over, knit 2 together again. Make sure you go on the back, yarn over, pull through, and then that is just going to start your knitting all the way across. So you're just going to do that decrease on every row until you have 4 stitches left, okay? So just let me show you. See how it just took a little turn right there? So we're starting back the other direction with a decrease. So that is super simple, and I know you can do it. And so you're just gonna knit the first one, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit all the way across. So I'll see you when I get to the yarn change so you can see that. So here is all I have left on my original skein, and I am going to take the end from another skein right there, and this is how I'm going to add my yarn. So all you're going to do is insert your needle and then take the new yarn, and you're just going to leave the long tail, and then you're going to drape it over the needle like that, and you're just going to knit like you normally do. So now I have 2 long ends, and I'm going to tie these together. So just make sure that you do that first before you continue with your next stitch. Looks a little awkward. Okay. So those would be the ends from your old skein and the end from your new skein, the long end. Or I mean the short end. You tie the short end with your other skein. Okay, then the new yarn, you're going to separate the old from the new. And I know it looks a little tricky. Then since I'm on a decrease row, I have to knit 2 together on my next stitch like that, and then you're just going to knit as usual, and then take this piece over here and tighten it down, make sure it's not going to come out, and then on this one I'm going to yarn over, knit 2 together, because remember we're on a decrease row, and then knit across after that. So just go ahead and knit to the other side, and then at the end when you're all finished, then you can weave in these ends. So just let me show you a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to knit a few more stitches, probably like around 10 stitches, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what that looks like on the other side, and also I will cut the yarn to be a little bit less cumbersome. So let me just see if I can get across here. Just a little bit, just enough to show you. Okay, there we go. So let me turn this over. Trying not to drop any stitches. So here's where I tied it together. So that's one of the pieces like this. So I'm going to cut the yarn right here, and then when I'm all finished with my blanket, then I'll come back and I'll weave them into this section right here. So it's really easy to change yarn, and it should blend really nicely in there. So I'll show you that at the very end. So in the meantime, just keep knitting and decreasing as you go along, and I will see you at the end when we're going to cast off. And hopefully it's not going to take me a week to get there. I am working on 3 other projects right now, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. And if you want to see more knitting videos, let me know, because I love knitting. It's my new passion, and I'd be happy to do that. And in the meantime, I'm also working on a couple crochet projects, and I think you'll really like those too. So let's go ahead and finish this blanket, and we'll be able to cast off soon. and enjoy this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Okay, so I'm down to my last 5 stitches, and I'm just going to knit 1, knit 2 together, then I'm going to knit these 2 together. And so now I have 3 stitches. I'm going to turn my work, and then on this one, I think what we're going to do is just go through all 3 and slip those off. Okay, there we go. All 3 at the same time. So you're just going to weave it right into the side of this this border, this little eyelet edge. So you don't need to go into the center right in here and do anything. It just makes it so much easier. So just weave it in wherever you can. Just like that, and it hides it extremely well. Just make sure you go back up. If you're a fast knitter, I'm sure you can get this done pretty quickly. This took me a couple weeks, but I was working on 3 other projects, so I do have some other videos coming up as well, and I do have a crochet one coming up and another knit video. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. God bless you guys. Take care. Happy holidays. Here's the video that I made a crocheted border on this same exact blanket, but in the creamy white color. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click on the iCard. I will also put it in the description box, and then you can see how I did that if you know how to crochet.